Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my home in Livingston, Montana. Okay, let me get a little coffee here. I always got to do that to wash the hairballs out of my throat. Little joke there. Okay, I'm going to make a video this morning. I'm going to get through this just as fast as I can. But I'm going to call this video The Curse of Being a Vietnam Veteran, which I am a Vietnam veteran, and believe you me, there's been a price to pay for me being a Vietnam veteran. Now, I've made quite a few videos here and there on the subject of Vietnam, and so I don't want to be beating a dead horse, but this is what I've got to say for the here and now. Again, I got 10 points on this, little teleprompter, this little index card of mine here, so hang on here, I'll get through this as fast as I can. That was my little intro there. Number 2, acceptance. Right now, it's the weirdest thing. I can go into Shopko or Costco or Wally World or go over to Bozeman or go shopping down here in Livingston or go out in public. Let's put it that way. And it happened to me this last weekend. I was over in Bozeman at that big Gallatin Gateway Mall over there. And, it doesn't happen to me a lot, but I got people walking up to me, especially the only way they know is if I wear this hat of mine. I've got several Vietnam veteran hats, including my unit hat, but people will come up to me and thank me for my service. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is all well and good, but I needed acceptance 40 some odd years ago when I came back from Vietnam, not now. Because every time somebody comes up and, it makes me, it doesn't really make me feel all that good when they thank me for my service, considering the rejection and stuff I got way back when. It leaves me with kind of a hollow, empty, dumbfounded feeling. It's about the only way I can describe that, because, we were hated back in the day, but yet people want to accept us now. Now, don't you see any kind of irony to that? I sure do, my point being is we needed acceptance back then and not now. Okay, my third point is I've got family members still to this day. And what's the date today? It is April 16th of 2019. I have got family members, and I'm not talking about my wife and my kids so much, but I've got blood relatives that hate me. And most of what they hate about me is symptomology because of the Vietnam War. They hate my medical condition. They hate me. Still to this day. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you emphatically, that discrimination against us Vietnam veterans is still alive and well. And if nobody else has enough guts to get on the camera and say that, well, I damn sure do. Okay. Yep, my point being is I've got relatives that they both hate me and disrespect me. It's that simple. I should name them off, too. It's what I really should do. Okay. Number 4, the VA care. The VA is a broken system. I've said that before on my channel, but here it is. Us Vietnam veterans, back through the 1990s, we finally started getting the help that most of us needed through parts of the 80s and through the 90s. But ever since this war on terrorism got started and all this other crap, the health care for us Vietnam veterans has went to shit, has went to hell. I know, because I went into the system, because it is a system. It's a circle jerk is what it is. I went into the system in 1996 for real and got therapy and all this other stuff for PTSD and whatnot have you. So I know precisely what I'm talking about. Ever since 9/11 happened, basically what the VA does is they take care of vets. Whatever war is going on in the here and now, those vets get precedence over, like World War I, II, Korean vets, Vietnam veterans. You see what I mean? Personally, I think that is wrong. That system should change. Anyway, okay. That was number 4. Number 5, I think I got this right. If I get this mixed up, who cares? The VA the VA is run by a whole bunch of rules and regulations, government rules and regulations that are outdated. The VA is a broken, screwed up, bureaucratic system. That's what I know. I know. I'm in the system right now. I know exactly what I'm talking about. They got rules and regulations that just aren't suited for an injured or a damaged veteran, no matter what war they were in. It's as simple as that. Okay. Number 6. One of the biggest excuses that I hear out of the VA is they can't do certain things because they're broke. Yet I can go up to Fort Harrison up here in Helena, Montana and see all kinds of brand new buildings and all kinds of stuff like that, you know. And you think to yourself, how broke can the VA really be? Because that money never ever really trickles down to the individual veteran. That's the problem here. And the VA is notoriously understaffed. They don't have enough doctors, nurses, and on like that. But that's one of the number one excuses that I hear out of the VA for getting something done for us veterans is that they're broke. That's because the government's broke. The government's only, what, $20 trillion in debt with itself? Man. Number 7. Very recently, this last fall, I had my mainstay doctor over at the Bozeman Clinic, because you don't get to go to regular VA hospitals. Now, not here in Montana. You got to go to these miserable outpatient clinics. But my doctor, who's now since retired, told me, and this guy was a very honest human being, and I liked him a lot. He was one of the better VA doctors I ever had. And he looked me right in the eye one day when I was over there having my once every 6 months for a half an hour appointment, because that's all I give you, 1 hour a year. Let's make sure I get this straight. But anyway, this doctor told me, he says, Jim, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with the VA. A lot of times us doctors, we know what to do for you veterans, and same with the nurses, but the VA, meaning the administration, meaning the upper echelon of the VA, won't let us. Did you catch that? Okay. Can't believe this. You know, no can do, you know. The favorite word that the SOBs that run the government, the government SOBs that run the VA, their favorite word is no. Deny and no. Okay, number 8. I have personally needed an operation on my esophagus. I'm going to be just brutally honest here. The VA has known about this since 2011. What year is this right now? 2019. 8 years. And they have looked at me, they examined me, they know what the problem is, and they go, can't help you, Sanibar, you know, don't have the equipment, don't have the gear, don't have this, don't have everything. Here we go with that deny and no can do and all this other shit. That was number 8. And I'm 70% adjudicated too, by the way, which doesn't make any difference to them. You know, and number 9, here very recently, because my doctor retired and they brought in a new doctor, I fell through the cracks. I called up to Fort Harrison 3 different times trying to get back into the system. And what I mean by that is you can't get your medications filled or any of that unless you've got a doctor's okay. And I could see trouble on the horizon months away, and I tried to avoid it. Them dirty SOBs dang near ran me out of medications that I have to be on. I had to go over to that clinic personally and walk in there and fight tooth and toenail for an hour to get them to understand that I was running out of medications. Well, we can't do it this way, Mr. Bourne, because it's not the way things work. Just because there was an idiotic doctor that I hadn't seen yet, I didn't even know what the doctor's name was. My retiring doctor, he didn't tell me. I didn't know. There is a big lack. in my particular case, there was a big lack of communications between Fort Harrison, Montana, which is the regional center, and these outpatient clinics. And I don't care what anybody says. I know there's a communication breakdown. This mess needs to get fixed. I am not kidding you. Okay, they just about run me out of medications. I'm not, And number 10, this is the one that kills me the most. I've still got people to this day come up to me. They'll see me with this goofy hat on. They'll say, and they'll start making guys about my age, and they'll make all kinds of excuses why they didn't go to Vietnam. They skipped out to college. They ran off to Canada. Whatever have you, they try to apologize to me. Look here, buckaroo, I just don't care. You either did or you didn't do. You were the one that's got to live with it. I just know one thing. I surely didn't want to go to Vietnam, but I received federal orders to go. I had to go. There was an old saying way back in the day. I remember it all too. It was a hippie saying. And it holds true this day. I'm going to end this rant and rave video with this. What happens, ladies and gentlemen, if they gave a war and nobody come? I'm going to repeat myself. What happens? What would happen if they gave a war and nobody came to the war? All the money that these governments and the United States and everybody spends on war and destroying other human beings, and we could be off curing cancer and fixing this earth, and all the stuff that we've destroyed and all this other stuff. But these people that are in power, like I've said many times on my channel, just don't care. It's that simple. So here it is. Here is my curse for being a Vietnam veteran. And I'm 67 years old, and still, yes, people are accepting me more and different things like this, but I do not get the health care that I need, and I still got people hating me and discriminating against me to this day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this rant and rave video, but this so happens to be the truth. Take care of yourselves, and we shall see you on down the trail.